With Week 5 now behind us, let's look back at some of the action from the EU region. Week 5 was crunch time for many teams in the league as we saw some surprising upsets, hard-fought victories and a new tank on the battlefield. Rage Quit were able to get some vital points by winning both of their matches, defeating Rusty Roster 5-3 and then Nakabrod 5-2. Whilst Rage Quit will be happy with taking maximum points in both of their battles, it's fair to say that their use of a T95 and Prokhorovka still requires a little bit of work. Out of Range had to play 3 times due to reschedules and ended up with 3 totally different results. In their first match, they won a tiebreaker against Swift. In their second match, they lost to Utopia 5-3. And then, in their final match, they defeated Gohard 5-2, which was a surprising result for everyone involved. Hurting a little bit from their tiebreaker with Out of Range, Swift bounced back later on with a brilliant result against Oops, defeating them 5-3, and they picked up a vital 3 points as well. Now let's look at the standings for the EU region as we head into the final week, and there's still a lot to play for at the bottom of the table. Ding now leads Utopia by 1 point. They play each other on Friday, and the winner of that match will secure first place, so this is going to be a really awesome match to watch. Oops are now in 3rd place above Gohard, who lost both of their matches in week 5. Kazna Crew move into 5th place, and they're safe now on 16 points. Between Rage Quit, Out of Range, Swift and the Wild Bunch, things get complicated as none of them are currently safe until the last round of matches have been played. Sadly, Kanakabrod and Rusty Roster will not be going on to Phase 2 as they cannot get enough points for their remaining matches. Legend in last place could actually decide who takes the final 9th slot as their last match is against the Wild Bunch. With 1 week to go in the CIS region, things are still wide open at the top and also wide open at the bottom for that final qualification spot. The highlights for the RU region could easily be filled with nothing but next please and their tank choices. Against Brainstorm, we witnessed some spectacular matches with the pick of the lineups coming from 6 Foch 155s on Himmelsdorf attack, which they then followed up by 5 FV215B 183s on the defence. Against Not So Serious, Next Please then surprised everybody by taking 6 Mouse and an Oho on defence. That means there was over 19,700 health on the battlefield, and they then actually boosted one of the Mouse on the ridge. In normal matches, however, Carpe Diem dropped points when they won a tiebreaker against NSNS. This is unfortunate, as a win would have taken them 1 point clear of Not So Serious, who are looking very strong after winning both of their matches this week. With 1 week to go, the standings in the CIS table show that everything is still there to play for, and it's wide open. Not So Serious and Carpe Diem are both on 23 points at the top, with Not So Serious coming first due to win ratios. Hellraiser and Navi follow close behind, both on 21 points, with Hellraisers taking 3rd spot, again based on win ratio. Brainstorm are safe in 5th place on 18 points. In 6th, 7th and 8th, we see Impact, NSNS and WePlay all on 14 points. Their standings, like other teams in joint points, are only separated by win ratios. Tornado Rocks in 9th are still able to survive, but only if they win their final game against WePlay, which would then mean that WePlay drop to 9th and they would then be out of Phase 1 from the Gold League. Nashorn, Arcade Esports and Next Please are all sadly unable to qualify for Phase 2. Let's have a look at the NA region, where we can see how things went after Week 5 and we can look ahead to Phase 2. Apex dominated against Get Flanked, defeating them 5-1, but were then on the back foot against Aquatic M60s as they found themselves 3-1 down. Fighting back to 4-3 in Apex's favour, the match then went on to a tiebreaker, which Apex was able to win and still keep all 7 tanks alive. Deja Vu picked up 2 wins against High and Rival Simple, which has rounded off a good first phase for this team, as they've only lost matches against Eclipse, Apex and Aquatic M60s this season. Now let's bring up the standings for the NA region, where we can see just how close it is at the top, and we can also see sadly which team won't be going through to the next phase. Apex in first are now undefeated this season. However, as they've played 3 tiebreakers, they sit on 24 points rather than the maximum 27. Eclipse sit in 2nd place on 21 points, ahead of Aquatic M60s who are only 1 point behind. Deja Vu, not to be outdone, are sitting right behind both teams in 4th place on 19 points. Sable de True are then next, followed closely by High, both on 11 points. Next we see Rival Simple Tankers and 07 Gaming taking 7th and 8th place respectively. Sadly, it was too little too late for Get Flanked, as they finished Phase 1 in 9th place and won't be progressing to Phase 2 of the NA Gold Series. Week 5 was the first week in the APAC region where there was no 5-0 victories. Let's have a look at some highlights from that region. In the APAC region, we also got to see an unusual tank pick as Meltdown decided to take 5 M48 Patons in Prokhorovka. The tactic didn't seem to work for them in defence, but on attack however, they were able to get the win and then go on to defeat Twist when the game went into tiebreaker. B Gaming looked to be the first team to rock EL Gaming as they took them to a tiebreaker match. Until now, EL Gaming had won all of their previous matches with ease, either 5-0 or 5-1. And for a moment they came close to their first loss. Now let's have a look at the standings for the APAC region, where things are a bit more settled than the other regions. EL Gaming sit top on 29 points and are then followed by Meltdown on 24. B Gaming in 3rd are then followed by Team Efficiency in 4th. The Coalition and Karen Tigers are then joint on 18 points, with the Coalition taking 5th place due to win ratios. Horsemen and Dark Wolves then become 7th and 8th. Sadly, we already knew from last week that the bottom 4 teams in the APAC region would not be making it through to Phase 2 as they don't have the required points to survive.